Veuillez ne pas circuler, je vous prie.
Noah face à Alexander, c'est donc l'un des grands moments de la journée à Roland Garros. Le match a commencé tout à l'heure. Alors, où en est-on, Hervé Dutu?
Eh bien, Jean-Claude, il y a 8 minutes très exactement que cette rencontre est commencée et actuellement, les deux joueurs sont à égalité. Un jeu partout. John Alexander, 32 ans et qui en est à sa 9e participation aux internationaux de Roland Garros.
John Alexander, best ranking was 8 in 1975.
Sans avoir jamais pu dépasser le cap des 8e de finale, est au service.
I was born in Sydney, 4th of July 1951.
Il est mené 30-15 sur son service, donc tout va bien pour l'instant, mais il faudra attendre un petit peu avant de voir si Yannick Noah pourra prendre le meilleur sur l'Australien.
My parents met playing tennis. Their special outings was to rent a tennis court and they'd have a picnic and play tennis in the afternoon, and at the end of the day we would be allowed to hit a few balls. And their dream was always to have their own tennis court. And when I was about 6, they built a tennis court in our backyard and they'd play tennis with my sisters, who both had lessons, and I was excluded on the basis that I couldn't serve well enough. And so I was bound and determined to serve well enough to join the family to play tennis. So that's where my tennis started.
L'Australien qui avait étonné au tour précédent en battant l'Américain Purcell, pourtant récent finaliste à Monte-Carlo sur terre battue en 5 manches, 6-4 au 5e set.
I always thought it was very funny that I was excluded from the family because I couldn't serve, and then I'll show you. So, good serving is, maybe being fortunate with some very good coaching early on, and then height and, just reasonably good technique and a lot of help from a lot of people, including Lou Hode and Pancho Gonzalez, who were just very, very thoughtful students of the game as well as being great players.
Je vous propose de regarder encore cette balle pour voir si Noah va parvenir à prendre le service de l'Australien.
When I was 16, I was selected in the Australian touring team to travel with Harry Hopman, and we were going to have a family meeting to decide whether I could do that and leave school. And my mother had been a school teacher. Dad, very keen for me to take this opportunity. And so we're meeting first, and he says, this will not go well. Mum will not agree to you leaving school. And so Mum came into the room and said, well, I guess you two have already made up your mind and nothing I'll say will change it. Oh, good.
J'arrête quelques instants de parler car il s'agit d'une balle de break, la première de cette rencontre en faveur de Noah sur le service d'Alexander. Et Alexander sauve cette première balle par un.
How I was coached was, and I believe it to this day, is that your serve should be your own natural throwing action. And a throwing action is a primal action. Cavemen would have taken a rock and thrown it to survive. That the alignment to your target is primal. You align your feet, hips and shoulders at the target. And even the throwing action, when you go to throw, as your shoulders come back, your left arm really makes almost a ball tossing movement. So there's very little that you should technically alter. The simple thing of the ball toss is to toss the ball in line with your natural throwing action, and that you should then seek to hit the ball. And Pancho Gonzalez was a very, very great student of this, and you should have full extension at the point of impact, to keep your head up past the point of impact, to make sure not only that you're watching the ball, but that in keeping your shoulders high, you kept your racket going on path towards the target. If you bow and drop your head, you're bringing your racket off the target.
Veuillez vous asseoir s'il vous plaît. Au service, Alexander, balle neuve.
New balls.
New balls.
I'm sure that the talk in the locker room was the balls are a problem. My recollection was that there was two halves of the ball, and there was a left and a right, and the mistake was happening was that the two sides were being glued together, which made the ball inconsistent through the air. But you could actually see it when it was hit flat. It would go like this through the air. The spin would overcome it, albeit it would be a little bit wobbly maybe. You needed to put more spin on the ball. You know, if you were hitting flat, you were a victim of the inconsistency of the ball. I'm sure Yannick was having concerns about the balls too. He overcame those problems with the ball better than everybody else. I'd known Yannick from the first time he was on the circuit, and he was brilliant, junior and tall and athletic, and very likable. Everybody liked Yannick.
Noah mène par 2 jeux à 1.
And so I knew Arthur very well. I knew the history of Yannick being discovered. So what is the significance of red, yellow and green?
Maybe a country?
Oh, is that the Cameroon's country? Cameroon's colours?
Maybe a singer?
A singer? I think I know who you mean.
Bob?
Bob Marley. Okay.
Can you imagine what it means to be a black tennis player and you arrive to the final, and not only to the final, during all the fortnight, you arrive with this shirt, this racket, and this wristband.
Yeah.
What does it mean in 1983?
Well, race in tennis is a whole separate topic, and Althea Gibson was the first black American to have great success and won Wimbledon, and it was a very different world then. And when she played in Australia, when she played in our local tournament, she said when she went to have lunch at the Milk Bar across the road, and she said, "Where should I sit?" expecting to be told to sit somewhere. And the owner said, "Oh no, sit with me and have lunch." And she said that was the first time she felt like a white person. So things moved forward enormously with Arthur Ashe when we first went to play in South Africa together in World Championship tennis. And the demand was that Ellis Park had to be desegregated, that everybody was welcome to come and sit. So huge ground had been made. And the great thing about sports is that it brings people together, it transcends all these other issues. And Yannick is just another great champion of moving that to its next and final iteration. There was people who broke down the hard barriers to begin with, like Althea Gibson. Arthur broke down more barriers. And Yannick's like the final, maybe the final ground being covered to have the overwhelming majority of people.
Rendez-vous à partir de 14h15 dans Sport Dimanche pour suivre l'après-midi de ces internationaux de France en direct avec, on l'espère, une bonne nouvelle en ce qui concerne Yannick Noah.
Veuillez prendre vos places, s'il vous plaît. Prenez vos places rapidement, merci.
It's the first time that I don't have any footage of this game.
Ah, good. I've played magnificently.
Mais nous revenons sur la partie de Yannick Noah, qui, vous allez le voir, a pris le meilleur sur l'Australien John Alexander. Noah mène 2-7-0.
Nous sommes donc dans le premier jeu du troisième set. Il a remporté le premier 6-2
Et le deuxième, 7-6.
7-6.
Yeah.
Tough, the second one, tough.
Yeah.
He did have a lot of hair. It's funny because we all had a lot of hair in those days.
I don't know how old Ron Alexander were at this time, 83.
And there was a big kick serve, so I couldn't chip and charge, but I'm coming in now. He's gone topspin down the line, and I've hit a volley across court. I don't know whether it went in or out.
You have been a commentator. You are still a commentator
No,
today?
no, not yet. Maybe I'll make a comeback. No, he just slid down a first serve down the centre, which I wasn't expecting.
He looks clearly more comfortable. Like he knows what he knows how to defend and how to attack more now than he did when he played against me.
He's played a very, very nice little low angle shot which contained my volley. He lobbed down the line.
It's a lot of touch tennis, huh?
And he's lobbed again over the backhand side.
Yannick is just too athletic for him, just too fast.
But they finished in 3 sets?
In 3 sets.
Okay. Who beat 1 set in the moment? Järryd beat in 3 or 4?
3.
3. Me and 3.
Yeah.
Dupré.
3.
3. This one 3. Ah, Lendl.
Yannick, d'après vous, vous avez parlé de Lendl tout à l'heure, avec un jeu un petit peu différent. C'est de toute façon Lendl qui, si la logique sportive est respectée, doit se qualifier au dépens de Gottfried.
C'est Lendl qui, si la logique est respectée, doit gagner le tournoi.
Ah.
Mais d'ici là, je pense qu'il y a pas mal de joueurs qui veulent le battre et Gottfried sera le premier. Je pense que Brian a eu des matchs difficiles dans les tours précédents et ça va être très dur pour lui. Mais enfin, quand Gottfried joue bien et dans un bon jour, il peut très bien faire douter Lendl.
Who is Ivan Lendl?
Ivan Lendl, he was...
Who is Ivan Lendl?
Ivan Lendl is...
Who is Ivan Lendl? So who is Ivan Lendl, Pat?
He's like the combination of the Terminator and the guy in the Rocky movie, Ivan Drago. He's the machine on the court.
He was hitting the ball so hard.
More power.
Relentless.
More penetration.
Not very emotional at all.
Very serious.
Stone face.
But he also had moments where he wasn't sure of himself either.
Anything can happen. This is going to be a fantastic match.
Et maintenant, place au spectacle que va sûrement nous donner ce match entre Yannick Noah et Ivan Lendl.
Ivan Lendl, 7.3.60 Ostrava.
Deux joueurs de la même génération, ils ont 23 ans tous les deux.
Well, both of my parents played tennis, so I was brought in the tennis environment and I enjoyed it.
Un mois les sépare, Ivan Lendl étant le plus âgé des deux.
I always played on the wall as a kid with a wooden paddle.
What was the kind of game you make on the wall?
You just try to keep the ball in place so you don't have to go and pick it up, I guess. I don't know.
Ils se sont rencontrés à maintes reprises dans les tournois juniors européens.
Tennis is played by sound. I can walk by the courts, practice courts and so on, and I can tell you what kind of a player on that court is. I have heard golfers say that. I have heard golfers say, we walk on the driving range and we know when it's Jack Nicklaus or Tiger Woods hitting because it's the different sound. And that's one way of looking at it. The other one is friends of mine always ask me, why do you guys ask for quiet? Well, I ask for quiet on the tennis court because when I hear your shot, I know what quality of shot is coming. I know what spin it has. I know how the ball is going to react. It's very important. I believe there was only one player in the world was from South Korea who was deaf. Only one. I don't know his name. Maybe he played 10, 15 years ago. And we had juniors growing up, and there was a Slovak player, and he was not fully deaf, but he didn't hear very well. But other than that, I guess if you don't have your hearing since birth, you adjust. But if you have the hearing and then it's taken away, it's very awkward. I always said to people, well, why don't you put cotton balls in your ears and go and play tennis and see what happens? And they always said, wow, that was difficult. That was different.
Leur ascension au plus haut niveau mondial était inévitable.
So I came with this one.
Yeah, I can tell you I never used it. But yes, that was my racket.
So explain me what is the difference between this standard racket and what you have customized to make the racket of Ivan Lendl, just to understand, for example, the strings, the frame, the weight, the grip.
The grip was certain size, and then we went to a mold. So all the grips would be the same. Because I was the first guy who started switching rackets with a ball change. So if I'm going to do that, the racket has to perform identical to the one I had in my hands 3 minutes ago. Then you go and you have the tension in the strings. You have certain strings, you have certain tensions, you have certain weight and balance. My rackets were made lighter on purpose so we could load lead on it, because if they made them that way, then the racket wouldn't bend enough in this part of the frame. When we put lead in there, the racket started bending a little bit on certain shots, and I could feel that.
Il se retrouve alors que Ivan Lendl a progressé plus vite que le Français. Vraisemblablement, était-il plus motivé? Avait-il plus envie que Noah de le faire?
How would you sum up the story of 1981?
Well, the only thing I remember before that was semifinals against my friend José Luis Clerc, where he had a match point and I won the match.
José Luis Clerc. Donc, Ivan Lendl.
What is your game?
My game? Well, my best game was powerful tennis from the baseline, coming to finish only when I had to and make it as physical as possible. You get into the rallies and you try to get to the point where you can hurt the opponent. So that's when you control the point, and then you have to be able to take advantage of it. If you control how the points are being played and they cannot get you in trouble, and then when they leave the short ball and you get them in trouble, that's kind of controlling the game, or you could use the word domination. Jose was always a very difficult match for me because he hit the ball harder than me, so he was controlling a lot of the points. And it was great for me to come back and win that match. That was very, very difficult for me to beat Jose at any given time, especially on clay court.
C'est fantastique, bravo Lendl, à vous les studios.
Yeah, it was his last Roland Garros. He won his sixth. And he was clearly the best clay court player at the time. And we thought maybe all time, but then somebody called Rafa came along and made it look silly. Yeah, Bjorn was very, very tough. He could run, he didn't miss. He was difficult to put the ball away and so on and so on. And I was only 21. I was not still physically developed fully. and was still growing, not necessarily height, but growing muscle. Yeah, I mean, it would have been a big upset had I beaten Bjorn, but unfortunately I didn't.
I bet you were really close, and
none of the sets I lost were that close.
No, it's clear.
Yeah.
But great match, really.
I don't think it's a great match if you lose it. It depends which angle you look from.
Still today, you think that about victory and defeat? You don't like to lose?
I hate to lose, no matter what I do. Just to give you an idea how competitive I am, if I go and exercise today and you can measure in time the result, tomorrow I want to do better. I'm 62 years old. You would have thought I get smarter, but no. Yannick Noah was a very difficult opponent, especially in France, at Roland Garros. Very athletic, very aggressive, good touch, and very difficult to beat. His weaknesses, if I could keep him at the baseline, he would possibly miss before I do, so that was always the strategy, and consistency at times. But when he was playing well, he was very, very difficult to beat.
He put that for your game.
All right.
He said it was
I take your word for it.
Yes, my habit de lumière, my light suit. That means it's really important for Yannick to be well closed, to have his shoes shine.
Well, I think it's really important to have a racket you like, shoes which are good and don't give you blisters, and clothes which fits. So if you feel good in your clothes and shoes, you can play well.
Did you like your short with the blue diamond?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I like the material, especially because it felt good and so on.
It became mythical, really.
Yeah, I understand people liked it, yeah.
Yeah, on eBay, I couldn't find one.
Should have called Adidas.
Un peu de silence, Dupré. Un peu de silence. Au service, Lendl.
Et sur la chaise d'arbitre, monsieur Jacques Dorfman, juge arbitre de ce tournoi.
Okay, Ivan, from one great clay quarter to another. This is your third quarter final at Roland Garros. Every match is tough. I've just had a little lesson in tennis from Yannick, and Yannick is a very complete player. He plays differently to most clay quarters. So good luck in this match. You will need to be at your best.
I'm not sure he's right. I lost in first round in 78. I lost in round of 16 to Järryd in 79. I lost round of 16 to Gottfried in 80. I lost finals to Borg in 81. I lost round of 16 to Wilander in 82. So that's only my second quarterfinal, not the third.
I'm happy to hear the computer Ivan Lendl.
Oh, I remember certain things, but obviously I can't remember them all.
Let's go.
Are you playing it in slow motion or we're that slow?
What is the color of his...
Yeah, I noticed that right off. In the warm-up, I noticed that.
And now he goes a slice, which forces Lendl to slice.
Did they like each other, Yannick and Ivan? Not really.
Interesting first point.
When you get older, you mellow down. It's just the way it is. It's quite interesting.
Ah oui, c'est bien joué.
Your lob is not so long.
No, because he was always crowding the net. Yannick used to come very close, so any kind of lob would be good. My problem was that I was not a very good lobber. I was better hitting passing shots than lobs. So crowding the net cuts off the angles, so that works in his favor.
Big test for Lendl on the opening point. Now he's serving and volleying, if this is the second point. And that was a very makeable passing shot for Yannick. He misses it, which might be a bit of tension, a bit of nerves in the first game.
Now when you see, he looks very patient and he looks good out there. He looks calm. He's up for the match.
Lendl doesn't like the lack of pace coming from Yannick.
So now is the moment of truth to show class.
Et premier jeu remporté par le Français qui était pourtant mené 40-0 par Ivan Lendl.
You can see now when he walks to the changeover, full concentration.
That's one of the things I like about Yannick's ball toss. It's to the right of his head. To bring a bit of my sense of humour in, Yannick's getting desperate because he just served and volleyed.
But he looks much more relaxed. It seems like he is hitting the ball very well, and now it's just a question if that's gonna be enough.
Surprising Ivan at the net.
Yannick's coming off a really deep forehand and then knocked off a chest-high volley. So the quality of the approach shot stopped Lendl from making a good passing shot. Now he's chipping and charging on the backhand, and unbelievably he missed a smash. I mean, that wouldn't happen once a year for Yannick.
C'est très bien fait. Jeu partout, tie break.
Yannick just then looked up and really looks charged up and full of energy.
Et le public que l'on entend pour la première fois encourager le Français.
Now it's full, huh? The stadium is full. That's the first time.
Yannick going with high top spin, not much pace. And Lendl, who was a very hard hitter, isn't able to penetrate. And Yannick come in with a very deep ball. Lendl's got the ball to his feet. Now Lendl's played a great point. Finished with a fantastic backhand passing shot down the line. Yannick going very high defensively from the back of the court at times.
He's not necessarily forced to come ahead of time. He gets to take his time and decide how the point's going to be played.
And Yannick then moving to the net.
Down the line.
Yeah, that was my best backhand pass. But you could see in that point how athletic Yannick was, because it was a good pass, I was in good court position, and he covered it pretty easily. And you know, as I said, he was a tremendous athlete.
I like this point.
You like that point? I didn't like that point.
This is the game he wants to play. He's allowed to play this way.
So who is 5-4 up?
5-4 for Yannick.
For Yannick.
points à 4 Noah, soit 2 balles de 7 pour le Français.
I think it's very important for Yannick to win the first set.
Et première manche remportée par Noah au tie-break après 58 minutes de jeu.
Okay, first set was of course very, very important here.
C'était un set extrêmement important, je vous le disais.
If you can come to this point against Ivan, you have a good chance. You have a very, very good chance.
Ivan have to hit more harder his first service and his forehand. You know, he played too safe.
That he liked. That's what he liked. He has to smack that ball. Look at him. It's full of confidence, and I can do it. I can win. I can win.
Clearly, Lendl is feeling tension. He's coming to the net.
Now maybe they can smell a little bit. Maybe we can have a champion. It's not impossible.
You know, the game comes down to, you know, who's the more athletic guy, and it's clearly Yannick. He's losing it. You know, he had one style of playing, and if that didn't work, there was no plan B.
Elle est forte et c'est une balle de match pour Noah.
He already lost the match, and he just hopes for a miracle that Yannick is gonna be so nervous and play so bad.
Ah oui, un grand champion, Ivan Lendl, sur cette balle de match. Après avoir servi le revers de Noah et être monté au filet.
Second serve very slow to the net, kamikaze, you know?
Well, clearly, and I don't remember the match, but clearly I'm losing the match and probably not getting anywhere with Yannick being at the net and me being in the backcourt. Well, one way of taking the net away from the opponent is get there before him, so I'm sure that's what it was.
Victor Pecci has another interpretation of this moment. He says, well, he has lost and he comes to the net to shake the hand of Yannick.
No, you don't lose till you finish the last point. But you have to, I mean, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different result. Well, if I stay back and let Yannick hit the backhand slice which bounces about this high on a bad court now, not bad court, but on a used court, so you could get bad bounces, and expect that I'm going to start winning the match that way, you would have to be crazy.
Aïe, 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 une double faute au bien mauvais moment pour Ivan Lendl.
What is going to do?
Send a volley. Again?
This is, of course, the moment of truth here, that now we have to close it, and that we all know how difficult that can be. And...
Ah, là, il manque le plus facile, le Français, et Lendl n'est plus mené maintenant que par 5 jeux à 3. C'est l'instant de vérité, pourvu que le bras de Noah ne tremble pas.
What he's saying is, and I know it as a player, I know it as a coach, the hardest time to hold a serve is when you're just broken, to confirm that, and when you're serving for the matches or sets. That's the most difficult time to hold a serve because the opponent summons all the energy, mental and physical, to try to stay in the match. So those are the most difficult times.
So I wouldn't be at all surprised if things change a bit here, because there's got to be tension for Yannick, and I think that Ivan is likely going to become a little bit more aggressive and change the dynamic a bit.
He should have won that game, so 6-2 then. Now it's 5-4.
Ce n'est plus le même Noah sur le court.
I wouldn't quite call it a choke, but it was something to do with the neck.
I'm sure Yannick is nervous. I would be nervous.
Now the doubts is coming in your head. Now you question yourself a little bit, and oh man, am I gonna...
Sur la ligne, et jeu Lendl, 5 jeux partout, tout est remis en question.
Afraid to win.
C'est là que le public devrait être encouragé. Yannick Noah qui traverse un moment terrible que tous les joueurs de tennis ont rencontré au cours de leur carrière, la peur de gagner.
How you say in English?
The fear to win.
The fear to win.
Yeah, the fear to win is that everyone wants to win, but the thoughts are coming in your head, and you want to win so badly, so you don't play free.
Elle est faute, 15-40, 2 balles de break en faveur d'Ivan Lendl.
It means so much, and you see that it slips away, and then you get panic. You don't think clear. You don't think clear. You feel like you are in a cage.
Et bien voilà, 3e set remporté par le Tchécoslovaque Ivan Lendl après 2h17 minutes de jeu.
I never understood that somebody is afraid to win. Why would you be afraid to win?
Because you are a human being.
Yeah, but winning is what you play for. You should be looking forward to it, not be afraid of it.
It never happened in your life?
I never looked at it that way. As I said, it's difficult to close the matches, but that doesn't mean you're afraid to win. I didn't close all the matches. I made mistakes. I was nervous too, but I was never afraid to win. Because you play to win, you should be looking forward to it.
Et nouvelle balle de break en faveur d'Ivan Lendl.
So it's time to press the reset and settle down.
Oh.
Non. 40.
That was really close. He had no chance on that passing shot, and it just goes out 10 centimeters.
Non.
Yannick played a good point. He was in trouble early. He hit a looping forehand, which was very deep. And then when he got a shorter ball, he came down the middle to take the angle away. And maybe that's why I missed the passing shot.
That was probably the biggest point of the tournament for Yannick.
On his chronicle about his match against Lendl in Le Journal Le Monde, he said, if I lose this point, I lose the
I lose the match.
I lose the game, I lose the match.
If he felt that if he had lost this point, that I would have won the match, well, from my perspective, I'm very sorry I didn't win that point because I would have liked to win the match. You can, when you're on the court, you can watch the opponent, and I always do, or always did, how they're feeling. Are they frustrated? Are they fatigued? Are they this? Are they that? I didn't read any of that because I would have remembered that.
Oui, le jeu pour Yannick Noah.
We have 2 points, this one and then this one.
Nobody makes that shot except for him. You know, Lendl could have made that shot. I couldn't have made that shot. Nobody makes that shot except for him.
Well, high backhand overhead is the most difficult shot in the game. And this point just illustrates what an athlete Yannick was, that's all.
This next game is really important. And if Lendl wins this game, then the set will be tight. If Lendl loses this game, it's maybe 6-1 set. 6-love set, looks like.
Oui, Yannick, 4 jeux à 0.
Yannick has just found his best tennis throughout this set.
Deux nouvelles balles de match pour Yannick Noah.
Very much point. Eh? Very.
It's difficult to end. The ending point is always hardest.
Un peu de silence.
He thinks too much, eh?
Victoire de Noah en 4-7, 7-6, 6-2, 5-7, 6-0. Il y aura un Français en finale des internationaux de France de Roland Garros, puisqu'en demi-finale, Yannick Noah rencontrera Christophe Roger-Vasselin, qui a battu aujourd'hui Jimmy Connors en 3-7, 6-4, 6-4, 7-6.
When he beat Ivan now he knows that I have a mission now. And now I have to, as Christophe Roger-Vasselin, I have to beat him.
Nous allons rendre l'antenne, peut-être pas avant d'avoir les premiers mots de Yannick Noah, qui bat donc Ivan Lendl en 4-7 et 2h43 minutes. Je vous rappelle le score, 7-6, 6-2, 5-7, 6-0. C'est sur la volonté que le Français a réalisé cette performance, car je vous le rappelle, et pour ceux qui prendraient seulement l'antenne, Noah possédait au 3e set 2 balles de match avant d'être remonté, de s'incliner au 3e set, et accusant un coup de fatigue terrible, y compris sur le plan psychologique, le Français est parvenu sur sa volonté, sur son orgueil, à revenir dans la partie. et a infligé un 6-0 à son adversaire au 4e set. Jean-Michel, c'est à vous.
C'est la tension nerveuse, Hervé. Je ne sais pas s'il a encore réalisé, mais en tout cas, on a vu ces sauts de joie juste après ces balles. On peut dire qu'on a eu aujourd'hui une après-midi riche en émotions. Yannick, finalement, vous avez prouvé qu'avec une première balle de service qui passe bien, et toujours cette obsession d'un revers chopé, on pouvait battre Lendl.
Oui, je pense avoir le jeu pour le gêner. Je le connais très bien et je savais qu'en montant au maximum sur des balles chopées, en essayant de suivre mon service à la volée, et en restant solide à fond de cours, je pouvais le gêner. En fait, ce qu'il fallait, c'était se bagarrer avec lui. Il n'aime pas la bagarre. Et je veux dire, même quand il est revenu de 5-2 à 7-5, j'ai essayé de continuer la bagarre et ça marchait. C'était dur. Je veux dire, j'ai eu peur.
On a eu l'impression au début de match que vous avez mis un certain temps pour vous décrisper.
Non, j'étais très concentré, mais j'ai eu surtout peur à la fin. Je jouais bien tout le long du match. Et
3e set.
À 5-2, il y a eu ce jeu où j'ai eu 2 balles de match. J'ai bien joué. Il a bien joué le coup. C'est pas moi qui ai mal joué, mais enfin par la suite, après j'ai un peu gambergé. Et heureusement que j'ai gagné. Si j'avais perdu, je m'en serais pas remis.
Alors, le dispositif, dans une demi-heure, début de cette rencontre, vous la suivrez en direct. Hervé Dutu, Jean-Paul Lotte, dans quelques secondes, vont nous quitter, rejoindre la cabine sur le court central. Un court central qui se remplit, qui sera bondé dans quelques instants. Et Hervé Dutu, vous attendez à quel type de match pour cette première demi-finale de l'après-midi ?
Je crois que les deux joueurs vont jouer leur jeu, à savoir Yannick Noah va s'appuyer essentiellement sur son service, monter au filet le plus possible, essayer par des coups de débordement, des coups très liftés, de gêner physiquement Christophe Roger-Vasselin. Ce dernier, lui, va essayer sa cuisine habituelle et celle qu'il a faite contre Jimmy Connors, à savoir tenir d'abord la cadence, essayer de jouer une deuxième balle de service un peu plus longue pour empêcher le numéro 1 français de monter par trop souvent au filet, et puis essayer de le maintenir au fond du court, de le gêner avec des petits revers courts, coupés sur le revers de Noah, de monter aussi sur le revers de Noah, car le numéro 1 français n'aime pas beaucoup que l'on monte sur son revers en revers coupé. Et oui, Yves Mourouzi, Linastase, donc Yannick Noah et Christophe Roger-Vasselin sont maintenant sur le central.
My name is Christophe Roger-Vasselin in English. And my best ranking was 29 in the world, ATP. Yes.
Pour en découdre, ces deux joueurs se sont affrontés une seule fois au cours de leur carrière.
I'm born in London, that's why I speak English pretty well. It's my first language in England. 8th July 1957, so a few years ago.
C'était il y a 4 ans, au cours du National. Et la partie avait été interrompue par la nuit au moment où Christophe Roger-Vasselin, à la surprise générale et à l'époque, menait par 2-7-0.
I think I started in England during holidays when I was 7 maybe or something like this. Now I know kids, they start much younger, like 4, they can start to taking a small racket, but I started, I was maybe 7, 8 years old and I liked it, so my parents played a little bit and that's how I started playing, yeah.
Et le lendemain, Yannick Noah avait finalement remporté cette rencontre et avait d'ailleurs remporté son premier national, son premier championnat de France.
But you are French.
I'm French, exactly. Actually, I'm both. I'm half English, half French. But when I was 3 years old, my parents moved to France. My father's French and my mother English. And he went back to France for work and stuff. And so, yes, since I'm 3 years old, I've been living in France.
Sur le circuit international, ils ne se sont jamais rencontrés. Il est vrai que la différence de leur classement fait qu'ils ne disputent pas les mêmes tournois. En effet, Yannick Noah, maintenant, est quasiment obligé de jouer des tournois à 200, 250 000 $.
C'est vrai que j'étais champion de France junior à 17 ans. On faisait le service militaire à l'époque, donc j'ai eu 1 an de service militaire. Et donc c'est vers 16-17 ans qu'il y a eu un petit déclic. Oui.
Le classement qui paraîtra la semaine prochaine nous donnera une indication plus juste. Et ce sera vraisemblablement la meilleure place atteinte par Christophe au cours de sa carrière, de sa jeune carrière, car n'oublions pas qu'il n'a que 25 ans et demi.
Alors, je ne me souviens pas, mais moi je crois que j'ai 3 ans de plus que lui.
Donc peut-être que je l'ai vu sans doute au championnat de France cadet et junior, où lui il a joué les cadets peut-être, et moi j'ai joué les juniors, et je l'ai vu, c'était un espoir, etc.
Avec donc cette première demi-finale entre Christophe
Oui,
Roger-Vasselin.
il était déjà très très précoce, donc je me dis tiens, il en veut, et il était assez... il avait un beau jeu, et il a très vite progressé très vite, donc c'était l'impression qu'il pouvait être fort.
Un peu partout, la classe politique s'intéresse aussi à ces rencontres.
Yannick s'entraînait très dur, même si bon, on le voyait en photo, en boîte de nuit avec un verre, des choses comme ça, mais il était à l'entraînement. Je pense que les quinzaines avant Roland Garros, il se levait à 8h, il s'entraînait, etc. Non, c'était un gros bosseur quand même. Hein.
Yannick Noah, 6e mondial et qui passera numéro 5, quelle que soit l'issue de cette rencontre qui l'oppose à Christophe Roger-Vasselin, qui a créé la plus grosse surprise de ces internationaux de France. Il n'était pas classé tête de série.
Alors, je suis arrivé à ce tournoi, je me souviens, je crois que j'avais perdu 5 ou 6 fois au premier tour dans les tournois précédents. Donc, j'étais pas... voilà, je disais, il faut que ça change, là, c'est pas possible. Et donc, j'ai eu des premiers tours assez faciles. Donc, j'étais vraiment physiquement en bonne forme, très bonne forme.
Après avoir été mené 2-7-0, victoire de Christophe Roger-Vasselin, qui se qualifie donc pour les 8e de finale du tournoi de Roland Garros.
Roger-Vasselin mène 5 jeux à 1 quatrième manche.
Et voilà, il conclut par une double faute, ce qui permet à Roger-Vasselin de l'emporter 6-2, 6-3, 1-6, 6-1.
Connors au service. Sur la ligne de concours de Christophe Roger-Vasselin.
Alors, il y a une définition de la balle de Christophe Roger-Vasselin qu'on a beaucoup entendue et qui donc était censée embêter finalement la balle de Connors. Est-ce que vous avez l'adjectif qui a toujours été accolé à votre balle?
Alors, à mon avis, ça doit être une balle cotonneuse, pas ça? C'est ça? Oui, d'accord, cotonneuse. Tout à fait.
Il a su, depuis le début de la partie, appliquer cette tactique de balle cotonneuse au milieu du court, plutôt basse sur le coup droit de Connors.
C'est une balle qui comment dire, ne va pas très vite, mais qui s'enfonce dans le terrain, qui est chopée, qui est basse, donc on ne peut pas vraiment s'appuyer dessus pour la taper fort, parce qu'elle est trop basse. Quoi. Il y a des joueurs qui aiment garder le jeu bas, c'est-à-dire bas du filet, donc ils jouent à ras du filet, et l'autre joueur est finalement presque obligé de jouer pareil. Il peut pas. Alors, et il y a d'autres joueurs qui aiment bien jouer des balles hautes liftées, et l'adversaire est un peu obligé de jouer pareil aussi. Donc moi, je préférais avoir le jeu bas, donc avec ces balles cotonneuses, le jeu est resté bas. Il y a eu très peu de balles vraiment hautes, enfin à part quelques lobes, des choses comme ça.
Roger-Vasselin, 4 points à Connors de servir.
Est-ce que la balle cotonneuse doit être jouée au centre aussi? Parce que j'essaie un peu d'approcher les images.
Oui, tout à fait. Bah, si on peut jouer un peu au centre, c'est vraiment des coups d'attente pour vraiment annihiler le jeu et après peut-être avoir des opportunités à un moment ou à un autre, effectivement.
6 points, 3, Christophe Roger-Vasselin, 3 balles de match pour le Français.
Mais c'était son point faible. De toute façon, même sur toutes les surfaces, on savait que son revers était extraordinaire et que son coup droit était plus friable. Donc, tous les joueurs jouaient plus son coup droit.
Face à la tête de série numéro 1 de ce tournoi, Jimmy Connors, sur le score de 6-4, 6-4, 7-6. Christophe Roger-Vasselin, entouré maintenant par une nuée de photographes et qui réalise aujourd'hui la plus belle victoire de sa carrière.
S'il vous plaît.
Je pense qu'il se méfiait de moi parce que on s'était déjà joué 2 fois et je l'avais quand même embêté. Il savait que je savais le manœuvrer, etc. Donc je pense que pour lui, c'était jouer son jeu, ne pas s'occuper de mes tactiques, etc. Et donc avancer. Peut-être un peu plus jouer mon coup droit que le revers, parce que le coup droit, mon coup droit haut lifté peut-être le gênait moins que mon revers. Et puis je pouvais m'appuyer plus sur mon revers pour monter au filet, alors que le coup droit, c'était plus compliqué pour moi. Donc je pense qu'il a joué un petit peu ça, et puis surtout, je pense qu'il a voulu s'est imposé son jeu de manière pour pas qu'il commence à penser à gamberger, etc. On a bien commencé. Ça démarre bien.
Noah perd donc son service de le premier jeu de cette rencontre.
First game break.
Oui, il a fait des fautes, ouais. Bon, ça ne veut pas dire grand-chose, un premier jeu, mais il n'a pas fait un très beau jeu. La main dans la poche. Ah, je sais pas. C'est vrai que c'est...
Premier jeu, première main.
Oh, that's right. Roger's serve was a very awkward serve.
I haven't seen anything. I don't know the score. I know that Yannick is going to win. But if Yannick goes down here, it's a disaster. It's a totally disaster.
So it's a tricky game.
It's a tricky game.
Ouais, je n'ai pas monté une seule fois au filet. Ouais. Je pourrais, là, dessus-là. Ah, je suis monté, ça y est. Voilà. Je regarde, ça c'est un point vraiment, j'aurais dû faire beaucoup plus, monter au filet quand je peux.
Oui, bien joué. Jeu Christophe Roger-Vasselin.
Pour moi, il y a match. Hein.
Ouais, là, il y a complètement match au début, ouais, bien sûr. Ouais. Hein, c'est beau. Ouais. Et il commence à être plus présent, j'ai l'impression.
Avec un petit passing shot en revers coupé le long de la ligne.
Mène par 4 jeux à 2.
Such an athlete.
Un peu court mon montée, mais ouais, il commence à mieux accélérer, je pense. Ouais.
La balle est bonne, 15-3.
And the ball was called fault, and Yannick conceded the ace because he saw that it was in, which is why he was so highly regarded as a great sportsman.
Et un ace sur la troisième balle de 7. Première manche remportée donc par Noah en 39 minutes sur le score de 6 jeux à 3.
He's not taking this match for granted at all.
La partie s'est très nettement emballée. Jean-Paul, les Genois qui mènent donc 6-3, 3-0.
He knows he's physically done.
Noah mène 3-0.
Emotionally done. Yeah.
And again, that incredible athleticism. Yannick had actually come perilously too close to the net, but with his speed, he was able to get back and cover the lob.
Deuxièmement, Noah.
Ooh. Now I remember his survey. He had problem with that sometimes, with his ball toss, and I look at that.
And that's what you'd have to call a bad double fault from Roger.
Il n'en peut plus, Christophe, là. C'est très dur pour lui en ce moment, car Yannick ne lâche aucun point.
Donc c'est un moment... Ah, je m'énerve là, ouais.
He's getting angry with the balls, I think.
A lot of frustration.
Ah ouais. Ah, j'avais pas regardé ces images-là.
Il revient dans ses erreurs quand les choses ne vont pas très bien pour lui. Il a du mal à lancer sa balle et depuis un moment, il la lance beaucoup trop à droite et en avant et ne parvient plus à équilibrer son mouvement avec justesse.
Ah ouais, ça passe plus, c'est du délire, ça.
Eh bien, 3 doubles fautes consécutives, c'est le chaos. C'est le signe du chaos réalisé par Noah sur Christophe Roger-Vasselin.
I can understand. I mean, he's there's like the gas tank is empty. The motor's not going to go anymore.
And now he's sitting there hanging with his head, thinking, what am I doing? Even if I lose here, I want to go out in style. I want to play better.
Voilà, c'est terminé en 1h27 minutes. Victoire de Yannick Noah sur le score de 6-3, 6-0, 6-0.
Now think about it. He's in the semi-final, beating corners, and then he's going down 6-3, 6-love, 6-love. It's another day, another matchup. Always, you never know how, because it's such a mental game.
Aujourd'hui, vous avez pensé à la finale, Yannick, en voyant que vous possédiez déjà plus ou moins le match à l'issue du premier set?
Yannick, were you thinking at all about the final after you won the first set?
J'étais confiant, surtout parce que ces derniers temps j'avais fait de bons matchs. La victoire contre Lendl m'a donné confiance. Mais je tiens à dire après ce que vient de dire Christophe, c'est que faut pas qu'il oublie qu'il a fait un grand tournoi. Je veux dire, ça c'est un match. Je pense que le match d'aujourd'hui, il a gagné un grand match l'autre jour contre Connors en faisant un super match. Et je pense que le match d'aujourd'hui, il l'a perdu hier et avant-hier. Pourquoi? Parce que s'il n'a pas l'habitude d'arriver à ce niveau-là, il a été submergé par toutes les sollicitations. Et comme c'est un gars qui est gentil, il n'a pas su dire non. Et il est arrivé sur le court, il était à plat et ça s'est vu, il était fatigué. Dire l'énergie, c'est pas seulement le physique, mais c'est aussi dans la tête. Et je pense qu'il aurait dû un peu se préserver de tout ça et puis faire tout ça après. Cela dit, je pense que ça n'enlève rien à son tournoi. C'est sûr que c'est difficile de partir comme ça, mais dire demi-finale à Roland, c'est quand même sympa.
On va traduire.
Well, I'd like to say that I've played very well recently, and that has given me a lot of confidence. But it's also very important to me to tell you that I really think that Christophe has had a wonderful tournament. And if in fact he lost the match today, it was because he lost it beating Connors a few days ago. He was solicited by the press, by so many people, and he's not used to that kind of attention. And you have to realize that for this sort of thing, you have to protect yourself, you have to preserve your energy. And he's such a nice guy that perhaps he should have said no. And mentally, it's very difficult.